Good morning. Happy Friday, y'all. It's your boy Maz checking in with you. And I wanted to share with you guys what I experienced there during this exercise. This exercise was a whole new level. Check it out. I did shave today. I did shave. I love changing up the look, doing something new, giving the mind and the eyes something different to see, to know that change is inevitable. And that brings me back to the point of knowing thyself. And knowing thyself when you're experiencing outer body experiences during the exercise. Outer body experiences happen when we dream. It happens when we doze off, when we sleep, when we're daydreaming, whatever you want to call it. That is an outer body experience. And during these times when we exist, such as right now, whether it be in this plane where we're all conscious, we're awake, or when we're subconscious and asleep, and we're in that heavily parasympathetic response. But what happens is there is a connection that's so ingrained, it's gone back thousands and thousands of years since our existence, of the mind connecting with the body. So if one is going through stress, whether it be the body or whether it be the mind, it's going to influence the other one. We can put our body in different environments that are going to stress out our body. And what does that do to us? Say, for example, you are in a hot ass environment. I know just recently it's summer of 2023 in first week of June, but a couple weeks ago in Puerto Rico it was 120 humidity. And I love Puerto Rico, so that's why I use this example too, because when a lot of people are experiencing that extreme of an environment, what do they want to do? They want to go back to their equilibrium. So they turn on their ACs, they seek the opposite of the stress that they are under. That overloaded the grid, that overloaded the power on the island. Ultimately, it leads to frequent power outages, things of that nature. And when that happened, it made me think of ourselves when we put the body in that environment. These people in Puerto Rico, they have something going on in their mind when that happens. They either think differently, boom, I gotta act right now, something's gotta change. And when they're in that environment for a long period of time, that is also going to have an influence on the body and the mind. The body naturally wants to go. It wants to go. Whatever you tell it, it will do it. The only thing that happens is that the mind limits the body as to where it can go. And I fall victim to this sometimes. I'm not perfect by any means whatsoever. I'm sharing my experiences with you guys and gals, since everybody wants to be politically correct nowadays. I'm sharing my experience with you and sharing with you what I do during these times. So, what is an outer body experiences during these exercises? What is it telling us? It brings me back to that topic. What is happening when we're putting physical strength on our body and we're either sprinting, we're either bench pressing, we're squatting, doing different exercises. And what I mean by exercises, it can be in a different environment, such as heat and cold. That is included when we're talking about things such as physical conditioning, right? So when we're conditioning, we're putting the body through consecutive bouts of stress. It's all about stress stimulus at the end of the day. And when you put the body under stress, the body is natural, it's nature. When nature goes through this stress, it has no choice but to change. And that influences ourselves in not just our bodies, but in our mind and in our emotional body and also in our ethereal body and every extension of the body. I'm not sure how many those there are to get too technical and into the weeds, but when you are stressing one aspect of that body, every aspect and every way is going to be influenced as well. And what do I mean by this? I mean, you should be doing this yourself. If you're not happy, if you're feeling some type of way, if you're feeling stagnant, move your body. Moving the body is the most easy thing you can do. It's easier than moving the mind. I highly recommend it. Like, an idiot can just start walking. A baby. We were all idiots. We were baby idiots. And we just started walking. We didn't have to think consciously, but maybe we did. You know, I haven't tapped back into that. Well, I believe I have, but not as frequently, into that time when I was in the womb, into that time when I was born, and then a newborn, and then progressing throughout my life. And as we go throughout this life, stress that we're under, it also gets stored. And just like energy, going back to Puerto Rico, that energy has to go somewhere, right? So if we're under stress in our physical body, we're under stress in our mind, that energy is going to get stored where? Where? Think about the body as a battery. Think about the body as a battery. We have to rest, we have to charge up, just like we charge our phones, we have to charge those batteries. I think power banks are the equivalent to taking a nap. That's recharging. And some of you, why aren't you recharging your fucking battery? Why aren't you doing it? You're putting yourself through bullshit every day in your mind. You know, the mind's going to tell you what you're up to and what you're doing for today. You know, so you're going to be putting yourself under stress, and that right, but you're not going to be recovering. So I say that to say, recover. Know what minerals you're putting in your body. Just like what causes a battery to function are the currents. Of course, I'm not an electrician, but I know that you have minerals with water and all kinds of shit, and you get that shit buzzing up, boom, we going. Same thing with our bodies. You know, so when we are also resting our bodies, we're also resting different aspects of our energy body, right? Of our physical body, of our mental body, of our spiritual body, all of those things. I'm gonna walk back this way. I gotta head to the gym. I got another job today, but I wanted to share this message with you guys, let you know like what I'm doing with this information, you know, of outer body experiences. I forget who it was. I think it was Mastery by Robert Greene. And it's probably been about 3 years since I've read that book. Amazing book. It's one of those books that I would highly recommend reading over and over again. I'll go on the topics of reading books on another video. But there's this point where I think it was Einstein. No, maybe not Einstein. One of these inventors, maybe it was a guy that I believe they all stole ideas, you know, and they're just really good at being a businessman or politician or whatever, or just scheming on people. But that's neither here nor there. This thing that they did was they grabbed, I think it's really bothering me, I think it's Thomas Edison. He grabbed a device, or, you know, let's just say a widget. He grabbed a widget and was holding it in his hands. And he would get himself in a flow state. Do you know what a flow state? Flow state is when your brain is vibrating at a different frequency. And I believe it's alpha waves. Don't quote me on that. I haven't done my research right now, but I believe it's alpha. It was a delta, I believe. No, delta is when you're deep. Yeah, I believe it's alpha. It's basically a heightened sense of awareness that you're so tuned in a thing that you lose track of other things going on around you, except for that thing that you're focused on. And athletes call it the zone. You know, when a basketball player is on fire, so they call it, and you just can't stop missing a shot, or he's just in synchronization with the team. That is a flow state. And what's killer is that a group of people can be in a flow state. A group of people in a flow state, group prayers, group meditations. And that's what's so powerful is when people are in a group, that energy just gets amplified. But anyways, that's another reason why you should go to the gym. And I highly recommend doing that on a frequent basis. It amplifies that energy. But anyways, I forget where I was. Oh yeah, so holding a widget in his hand, and he puts himself in a flow state, and that widget is held lightly, just enough to barely grasp it so it's not going anywhere, but it's held lightly in a grasp, and he starts dozing off in that flow state and pondering in that flow state, mind you, focused on an idea. That stage of wakefulness, because when you're awake, you're vibrating at a certain frequency, and then you start dropping in wavelengths. And when you drop in these wavelengths of your mind tunes in to different frequencies going on, not just around here, but everywhere, every fucking way, not even in this realm that you can see. This is what we see it as. This is what we perceive through our senses. And when you go deep into that frequency and you experience things that are out of this world, where you're like, whoa, what the fuck was that? Like when you're dreaming, you're like, I don't know what the hell that shit was, but that shit was crazy. I've gone through that shit so many times. And that's what I do when I'm doing these exercises. There's just points where I'm in my head and I'm overthinking, like, I should probably take a break a little bit, or I should probably not run as hard because I got a little lift right now. Oh my God, I shouldn't do this to myself. What am I? Channeling that awareness of myself to know that voice is even going on in my head is key. It's key. The reason I say it's key is because that happens as we go throughout the day. We get in our heads. We get in other people's heads. We get into the space where it doesn't serve us. And that's where I'm saying, get into that space where it doesn't serve you, and you'll notice you can be that person in the zone where you're holding that widget. And next thing that I want to point on is when he was holding that widget, in and out, about to fall asleep. When your head's about to drop, you're almost going to fall asleep. That's what we want to be in when we're right here. That point, when he fell asleep, he drops the widget. And when that moment, when you drop and you let go of that widget and it's on its way to the floor, slowly dropping to the ground, boom, it hits, and then you wake up. That point right there is the point that we want to be. The point where we're awake, we're falling back asleep, and then we get back awake. And the reason I say that is there's creativity in there. There's knowledge in there. There's love in there. There's God in there. There is everything and nothing in there. Think about it. I want you guys to try this. I just want to share my experience with y'all about outer body experiences when I'm exercising. So much. I could go on this topic for days. If you want me to go into this topic and also bring like someone on here on like a podcast type of format, let me know. I'd love to get in sync with other high quality people and just connect with them on this level. Alrighty, y'all. I got places to be. I got like fucking time for one workout right now. So I'm gonna hit it. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Now again, I wanna go on this topic even more. I'd like to go into it deeper. I actually put some thought through it. Well, let me know what your thoughts are. Hope y'all have a blessed day. Peace.